Hello Aries, welcome to your reading. My name is Maria and this is a tarot reading for you if you have Aries anywhere in your chart, if you're a cross-watcher, meaning you have an Aries in your life and the reading could still be for you, and or something else drew you here if you felt drawn to it, and if it resonates then surely you were guided here. It's timeless and intuitive, so it's for when you find it. Aries, you start out with this lightning rod. The card is called Repairing the Veil, Forgiveness. It's kind of funny because this card, this is actually the first time this ever makes sense to me. So I feel like there's a message there about something that you haven't been able to make sense of before, that just seemed absolutely completely bonkers to you, because you know, I always wondered why the depiction of the card doesn't fit with the title, that doesn't fit with the subtitle, doesn't fit with the number or anything, but today it actually comes out making sense. And so I feel like it might be like an aha moment that you're getting, or maybe you've been chipping away long enough at something so that it, you know, finally you understand what it is about and what it wants from you. And it has this title also of forgiveness, and it looks like you finally being able to let something go that you haven't been able to let go of before. And this comes a little later down the line, but I think that's something that it is about frustration, some frustration that you've been unable to let go of for a really long time. Now you're actually, you're sort of finding your way into how to go about that, you know, how to actually pull off letting go of that frustration. So it looks like if actually this lightning rod, meaning this sort of this space, could even be your brain, let's say it is actually, that has a tendency to pick up on everything that is sort of frustrating and irritating, and then, you know, if it's in the habit of doing that, it's gonna all the time like zzz, zzz, yet another lightning is gonna be sent down into that rod, and the whole energy is gonna stay in that sort of paradigm of frustration and aggravation and too much energy, I think, running through some area of your life and or your sort of your mind, some part of your mind. But actually, you know, at this point you've chipped away at it long enough so that you can there is gonna be a point, I think, where you can literally just release it, and then you'll be in this sort of sunshiny space. But there is something that's standing in your way, and it is some kind of mental aggravation. But this card comes out, the eyes of the eagle rising above the fray, and it has a message about you. It's sort of you adjusting this lens that you're gonna, if you look long enough at the problem, I think you already have, you're gonna sort of find the sweet spot where you can adjust your focus so you actually see through it, so that you don't do the thing that is driving you nuts. I mean, also actually it could also be another person, maybe somebody else is driving you nuts, but it really looks like it has something to do with your perspective, that you shifting your perspective is gonna shift that situation for you. But also it is sort of you developing your discernment to a level that you haven't before, and also to a level that is not only making you able to understand something very profound about this world that you're in and you're in your life, but also something more cosmic. It's sort of like once you find that sweet spot, it's gonna open into sort of a cosmic insight or a cosmic truth. So that might also explain why you've been struggling with it, because without knowing it, you're sort of, in a way, you might think like, oh, I'm just trying to adjust this sort of a camera, but you're really adjusting sort of the Hubble telescope, or you know, something much bigger is going on. And when you find the sweet spot, which you're trying to at this point, you're gonna have sort of a realization where you can see much more than you could have even dreamed of, like sort of the whole universe. and it is really, it really is taking you to like quite a couple of levels up, because this eagle eye, you know, knows a lot. And then this card comes out. This is in Danish. It says dreams, and it actually speaks about how your brain works and how you focus, and very much about whether you focus on positive things or negative things, or whether you focus on what is helpful to you and what is not helpful to you, on what irritates you or doesn't irritate you. So there is something about your sort of your mental habits that you know, that is not serving you, and that you could actually fix. But because it's speaking about habits, then of course habits, they have, you know, they kind of die hard. So it's not like you're gonna fix it like that. That's why you're kind of also spending time adjusting the lens, because it's something that's a little bit of a process. You're learning to let go of something that you tend to look at in a very frustrated way. These two cards come out. They're called frustration and absurdity, and that's actually the things that are going on a mental level. I mean, actually, also this whole reading could be about somebody else. You'll probably know if it is, but whoever we're talking about has a tendency to go very fast into sort of frustration, and then from that frustration, sort of a lot of absurdity starts to arise, because of course frustration, you know, doesn't serve you. But on the other hand, you are at this point, you're all the way down into sort of the base of it. You're all the way down sort of in the, you know, that part of the machinery that really makes it tick. So you're very close to sort of finding this trickster energy that is aggravating you or running you around. It's just important that you don't let yourself sort of run into sort of a whole philosophy and start, you know, considering the moon and the stars. Stay long enough with this frustration in order to understand what it's about, and then also to release it, because it's actually it's just going around in circles, and you know, it's not really doing you any good. But then the courage card comes out, and it is really speaking about you finding the courage to show up very nakedly. I think maybe you didn't think that the fact that you were sort of frustrated and running around sort of in some, maybe also a little bit of an absurd universe with that frustration, that actually was that had something to do with vulnerability. I think you didn't know that, and you know, you might not know that. This reading is telling you it, but it's like that your frustration is sort of, it's like it's hiding your vulnerability, and that once you start this dissolving that habit of just going directly to frustration, something very clean and pure and vulnerable will start showing up. And then your knee-jerk reaction could of course be to sort of run back into this, because even though it's really uncomfortable and you're super tired of it, you know it, and you know what it is, and it's not as vulnerable, it's not as sort of as fragile, as frail as showing up with this, as just being like this little flower that somebody could just step on and crush. But then on the other hand, you know, it is the life force itself, so it will prevail, and also of course over time it will grow strong. It's just here in the beginning, where you're not very used to being in this paradigm, it's gonna feel probably very vulnerable and frightening, but really, you know, it is the life force that is showing up to show you another way of being. And then you will be going from this sort of lightning rod energy that is actually taking all of the energy away from the beauty in which you find yourself, because you're actually in this sunny landscape, and that will become clear to you. And then you end your reading with these two cards, the time to go and the peace card. So the time to go, it really looks like it's just what is going away is that old habit of something that you've been doing, maybe mentally or emotionally. It is dying out. It's becoming this. It's dissolving. You know, sort of like that picture in Back to the Future of Marty and his siblings, that it just disappears. So sort of like your future changes, your past changes, like everything changes because because of your mental habits changing, and also therefore your quantum field. So a path that you used to go down, that was always just running down a bridge and then a door and then yet another bridge with yet another boat, like something that was looping, is gonna fall away, and you will be in peace, which I think you haven't been for quite a while. Maybe you don't even remember what it's like to be in peace, and that's also why this habit is a little difficult to get rid of, and why it dies a little hard, but it will die when you persist and you keep showing up for it. And then, you know, it looks like this miracle egg will sort of open and reveal its secrets to you. So this was your reading, Aries. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for being here. If you did enjoy it, leave me a like, a thumbs up, and a subscription. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.